The reason why this world is as it is, of course, because of the agenda that controls it. Well, what kind of agenda is it that controls it? Well, most of all, it's the agenda of control in itself. We're not flexible enough to create diversity in strategies. We have to create more different strategies. We have to be able to accept different strategies for this world. And also, in fact, to allow and to accept different strategies to exist and control localities, smaller societies, smaller nations, smaller domains, you could say. What is the reason why people are as they are? Well, because of the agenda that controls them. Many people cannot see this because they cannot see the hidden agenda that drives and controls their lives. This comes from the subconscious mind, of course. So that's why people don't see it. And that's actually not too bad, but to have awareness of the fact that the hidden agenda that controls their life comes from the subconscious mind. And many times it's also built on the need for control, because it's built on fear and feeling unsafe. It's a drive towards safety, it's a drive towards connection, and we try to connect to that which is available to connect to. And since the things that are available to connect to are in the domain of the overall world order, we don't criticize or reflect too much on this world order. We accept the agenda because there are stuff in that world domain agenda that serves the purpose of connection and identification. But we have to improve the agenda of the world, of course. That goes without saying, because the world is on fire and it's falling apart, and it has been doing so for the last 20, 30 years or 200 years. I mean, the world is in bad shape, and people are in bad shape because we are not allowed to talk freely. Many countries in this world harshly punish people who speak the truth. Many countries in this world imprison people who take the liberty of speaking the truth about society, and especially, of course, about the hidden power in society, the hidden agenda by the elite forces that controls society. So, in many ways, you could say that this world is a war among idiots. Really, if you want to say it straight, this world is a war among idiots, because it's a war among men who needs to have control, who wants to have control, and these men who needs to have control have no insight into that which could be the foundation of an appropriate strategy, of a good strategy, of a beneficial strategy. If we knew how blind and selfish and abusive people are, and also the people who controls this world and who also controls or holds the agenda, then life wouldn't be so funny anymore. So if we're going to let some idiots control us, at least we have to ask those idiots to allow a certain variety of domains and strategies, so that the world is not only stupid, so that the world is not only abusive and a stupid, selfish agenda for the few. The most powerful people in this world have to accept that other people want to create something in this world that resonates with their true being, or with their true desires for what this world and for what humanity should be. But this world, the people who control it are not clever enough, but they are clever enough to control it in the way so that people who have something to say will get silenced. They can get killed or imprisoned or ostracized from society. But most importantly, they will be silenced. And that era, the era of control like that, the era of political ideological control is over. We don't have time for that anymore. Actually, now it's March 2023. March forward. We don't have time for stupidity anymore. If we really want to mess around and fool around in our own incompetence, then we have to do so in our own house, in the private, because we don't have time anymore when it comes to world control or world leadership. We need a better leadership. We must have clever people. We must have talents in leadership positions. We don't have that today. We don't have a single talent in world leadership today. We don't have a single true talent. And that is so sad that it's heartbreaking. It's heartbreaking to not even have not even one single talent. And if there came a single talent to this world in form of a world leadership position person, then that person would probably be silenced by the hidden forces behind the agenda, because people don't want to change the agenda because they want to keep it. They're afraid of revolution, they're afraid of change, they're afraid of oxygen, they're afraid of life, they're afraid of humanity, they're afraid of truth. So this is just so sad, and it's really heartbreaking. It's really heartbreaking to acknowledge how stupid this world is. It's really heartbreaking to understand how stubborn who control the agenda are. It's really heartbreaking to understand that and acknowledge that this world is going to be sick for a very long time, simply because the people who control the agenda are not clever enough to make a more appropriate agenda, or at least to give more flexibility and tolerance to a different kind of strategies. The attitude that we need is, of course, to improve the world. The attitude that we need is to create a new and better humanity. How can we do that? Well, then we need world leadership. I've talked about the World Senate for 1,000 years, and that is the best solution, I think. But if it's not going to happen, then at least world leaders have to understand that now we are in trouble. We really are in trouble. We need more insight and cleverness inside the people who control the agenda, because we need a better strategy, we need a better plan, we need a better leadership, we need someone to control us and control the world in a way that we truly really appreciate, because it protects us in the way that we want to be. It protects our humanity. It protects the deepest inner core heart values of ourselves as human beings. That's what we want. We want a mother. We want a father. It's as easy as that. We want to connect and live safely within a leadership that is appropriate for what we want. And we don't have that anymore. And that is just so sad. So to reflect on the agenda is, of course, extremely important, but I think that we have to accept and acknowledge the fact that we need more movements when it comes to developing attitudes and strategies, and political, religious, spiritual, whatever, because we need a diversity, we need a variety, so that we can compare and see what is it that is truly beneficial. Because the overall ruling total world order agenda is simply not working anymore. That agenda is like a bacteria, it's a virus, it's a cancer cell that wants to eat the world alive, so to speak. And that is blindness and stupidity. So we have to create a better world. We have to create a better public arena for true reflection and true dialogue. And this is something that the world leaders not only have to accept, but they have to support that. They have to actively support the dialogue and the debate and the reflection that we need to enter in order to create a better world for everyone and for the human heart, because the human heart is suffering in this bullshit. You know, the human heart is suffering in this bullshit of a stupidity agenda. We are suffering within incompetence. We could do so much better than what we are currently doing, but then the leadership have to accept people who can help them to modify the agenda and the strategies by which we live, because that's all we have. That's all we have. The only thing that we have is the ability and the potentiality for improving ourselves and the world by modifying our strategies. We have to improve our strategies. We have to make better system, plans and models and paradigms in which we live. We have to take care of that which has to be taken care of before it's too late. And now the signs are so clear that we cannot be blind to it anymore. We have to accept that time is running out. We have to be more clever than this. And then the leadership have to accept that clever people must come to help them if they cannot do it themselves. All right. Thank you.